debt. That means the economic construction demand according to the practical needs and specific requirements. Market situation and the developing trend of national to consider the proportion of various elements on the structure of the external debts, reasonable configuration and optimization combination in order to achieve the purpose of the cost reduction and risk reduction and to ensure the repay. So there are three subjects. First is to reduce the cost. Second is to reduce the risk. Third target is to ensure the repay. Through the optimal, reasonable configuration and optimal combination. That is two ways by structuring the external debt. The external debt. So there is some risk. The exchange risk is also called the foreign exchange risk or exchange rate risk. That's a possibility the debtor will suffer losses or gain from the fluctuation of the currency exchange rate in the process of borrowing, using, and repaying foreign debts. And the interest rate risk refers to the possibility of increasing or decrease foreign debt caused by the fluctuation of interest rate during the period of borrowing from foreign debts to repayments. And this interest rate structure management. The different type of foreign debt have different interest rates. Interest rate is an important factor affecting the cost of foreign projects and the overall cost of countries' external debts. To manage the interest rate structure is to reasonably arrange and timely adjust the interest rate structures of debt so as to reduce or stabilize the cost of foreign debt and avoid the risk. And in the management of interest rate structure, we should pay attention to first to compete for the preferential interest rates. Preferential means very favorable to gain the most favorable beneficial interest rates and reduce the cost of the foreign debt. And to be specific, we should try our best to obtain the international loan with lower interest rates and more favorable terms, such as loan from foreign governments, international financial organizations, and export credits. Second, according to the market overall interest rate level, to choose the fixed rate or floating rates. Generally, the interest rate in international financial markets are generally low. The fixed rate loans can be selected or the proportion of fixed rate debt in the total external debt of country can be increased. When the market interest rates are high, the floating rate loan can be chosen, or floating rate debt can be increased in the proportion of the country's total external debt in order to get the benefit of interest rates the fall of the interest rate. So the next management way is to manage the foreign currencies type structure. Generally, the the structure of the external debt is arranged and adjusted according to the actual needs of the foreign capital utilization for various currencies. And the external rates tend to trend of the international currencies and states foreign exchange receipts and payments and status of foreign exchange reserves. The purpose of this management is to just prevent and to reduce the exchange rate risk through the reasonable allocation and timely exchange of currencies. Those can be achieved to first to get the debt currency diversified and to get the different currency type, to get the ideal way to match or to diversify them. Second, to get the proportional reasonable currency structure. So at different weights, different currency take different percentage in the total debt. And third, to adjust the currency structure in a timely fashion, so timely and effective fashion. That means we should adjust those in the time frame with the changes happened at any time. So the latest currencies should be linked and adapt to each other in the three aspects of borrowing. The borrowing and use and returns. So three steps should be linked together, adapt each other, and the principle that borrowed to facilitate the repayment when borrow the currency when borrowing in one currency type, a country should keep the currency type that is consistent with the currency's export revenues currency type, so that he can have the export revenue in the same currency type in order to get their external debt repaid in the same currency. So they don't need to change the currency type. So there is also a risk if the currency cannot be converted into the debt type, the currency in the debt type, that will cause the risk cannot get the debt repaid. So that's why he should keep the currency type consistent with the export revenue currency type. So the last one is to get the term structure management. The debt exercise should be divided to the short term and medium and long term. The former refers to the maturity of 1 year or less. The latter refers to more than 1 year. The purpose of this management is to arrange the proportion of the maturities to ensure the repayment of principal and interest. The structure management should follow three principles. The first is to keep the median long-term debts as the majority, and to let them strive to control the short-term debt at less than 20% of the total debt. And second, to keep the growth of the short-term debt generally lower than that of medium or long-term debt. The third is we should ensure the balanced distribution of debt repayment. Try our best to avoid borrowing a large debt with the same maturity in the same period and to prevent the excessive concentration of principal and interest payments from aggravating the debt repayment pressure of a country. At the same time, in use of the external borrowing, the short-term debt should mainly use for projects that cover the principal and interest as soon as possible, while the long-term external debt can be considered arrange the use of the infrastructure. The last is the loan market and the country structure arrangements. The optimization of market and country structure lie in the diversification of the financing sides. And due to the different capital resource, financial instruments, and the currencies of each current capital market, the foreign exchange control degree of each fund provided country is different, and the capital intention change from time to time. So in order to prevent the national risk and the political risk in financing and ensure the stability of the source of the borrowing, the financing market and the country should be dispersed. That means should be very ideally being distracted so that the risk can't concentrate in one country. That is best use of the external capital.